Now let's just move on further towards the question number 3, which says a horse is tied to a peg at one corner of a square shaped grass field of side 15 meter by means of a 5 meter long rope. Find the area of the part of the field in which the horse can graze, and the second one is the increase in the grazing area if rope were 10 meter long instead of 5 meter. So let's just start the solution set for this question. And first of all, let us suppose if I'm just talking about a square shaped grass field. So let us suppose if I'm just taking a square shaped grass field. So let us suppose this is my square shaped grass field. So as it is given to us, this is nothing but of side 15 meters. This is nothing but of side 15 meter. And there is a horse which is tied to a peg at one corner of a square shaped grass field. So let us suppose if it is tied to this particular corner with a peg, and you can see, let us suppose this is nothing but a rope with which the horse is actually tied. So let us suppose this is my horse, if I'm just taking this one as my horse. So since you can see over here that it is quite an obvious thing that if we are just talking about the field or the part of the field which is grazed by the horse, then a horse can definitely graze only this much particular field if the rope is nothing but strictly straight. Let us suppose if I'm just taking the strictly straight rope, then the horse can graze into such a particular field only. It means we are just working with a particular quadrant of a circle only if I'm just talking about this particular sector. So as you can see, the horse can graze only in between this particular sector. It means that the angle at the center which we are just going to find out means the area of the field which is grazed by the horse is nothing but this particular section. And you can see all by yourself that the angle in this particular sector is definitely nothing but 90 degree. It is nothing but 90 degree. And furthermore, let's just talk about the very first part. So in the very first part, we just have to find out the area which is grazed by the horse. So you can definitely see this is the only area that horse can graze if the horse is actually tied to a peg at one corner of the square shaped grass building. The square shaped grass field. Now further, we can see over here that the angle of this particular sector is definitely 90 degrees. So first of all, we can say the angle of the sector, the angle of the sector or the angle of the part of the field grazed by a horse is nothing but is equal to 90 degree. You can see all by yourself that the angle forming over here is nothing but 90 degree. Furthermore, what can we say further? And we have the radius. Is nothing but is equal to the radius is definitely nothing but is equal to this particular length. And we know that the horse is actually tied to this peg, and we have this rope. The measure of this rope by the means of a 5 meter long rope. So we know that this particular rope is nothing but 5 meters. So the horse can graze within this particular area because the rope is only 5 meters. So it means that the radius of this particular section is nothing but 5 meters only. This rope is 5 meters. It means that this particular section or this particular we can say the quadrant do have a radius as nothing but 5 meters only. So the radius is nothing but is equal to the length of the rope. The length of the rope and the length of the rope is nothing but 5 meters. So this is 5 meters. Now let's just talk about the area of the part of the field. The area of the part of the field in which the horse can graze. So this is nothing but is equal to, let's just apply the formula. It is theta by 360 degree into pi r square, which is nothing but the area of the sector. Let's just plug in all the values over here. Theta is nothing but 90 degree. So this is 90 degree divided by 360 degree into pi. As you can see, in the given question, we have pi. We have to use pi as nothing but 3.14. So let's just plug in the value of pi as nothing but 3.14 over here. So this is 3.14 into the radius. What is radius? Radius is 5. So this is nothing but 5 into 5, which is nothing but 25. So I'm just writing 25 straightforward. You can take 5 whole square and then you can take the second step as nothing but 25. So I'm just taking a single step over here in which I'm taking the square of 5. So 5 square is nothing but 25. Now let's just sort it out. As you you can see, we have this as 4, and further we can calculate this particular value as nothing but, this would be nothing but, let us suppose, if I'm just moving on further, let us suppose, okay, further we have this value as nothing but 3.14 into 25 divided by 4. Now let's just sort out this particular value. After getting multiplied with 3.14 into 25, you will get the answer as 78.5 divided by 4. And when you just cancel the values, means 78.5 divided by 4, then you will get the answer as 19.625. We have the units as nothing but meter, so this is nothing but meter square. So at the end we are getting the answer for the very first part is nothing but the area of the part which is grazed by the horse, having the rope as nothing but 5 meter with which the horse is tied. The answer is nothing but 19.625 meters square. So this is nothing but the answer for the very first part. The answer for the very first part is nothing but 19.625 meter square area. Now let's just talk about the second part. So in the second part we can see the question says there is an increase in the grazing area. We just have to find out the increase in the grazing area if the rope were 10 meter long instead of 5 meter. So what does it mean? Now we are just taking the rope of the horse with which the horse is tied as nothing but 10 meters. So it means that now the radius that we are taking for this particular quadrant is actually 10 meters. So now the radius is 10 meter, means 5 meter more than the previous one. Now let's just take the various information that we have. First of all, the angle of the part of the field grazed by the horse is again the same, that is 90 degree. Now there is only one change, which is nothing but radius. Radius is nothing but the length of the rope. Now again, length of the rope is now 10, it is now 10 meters. Now let's just find out the area of the part of the field. The area of the part of the field, it is nothing but is equal to theta by 360 into pi r square. Now let's just plug in all the values over here. So as you can see, we have theta by 360. So theta is nothing but 90 degree. Further we have 360 degree into pi. We are using pi as 3.14. Radius is nothing but 10 square. So I'm just taking 100 straight forward. So this is nothing but 4, and further we have this as nothing but 25. So we have at the end as 3.14 into 25, which is nothing but is equal to 78.5 meters square. So hence the area for the second part, this is our second part. The area for the second part means when the rope is 10 meter, the area we are getting is nothing but 78.5 meters square. But we just have to find out the increase in the grazing area. The second part says that we have to find the increase in the grazing area. So what is the increase in the grazing area? So increase in the grazing area is definitely is equal to the area when rope is 10 meters minus the area when rope is 5 meters. Obviously, if we just have to find out the area which is the increase in the grazing area if the rope is 10 meters long. So let us suppose if I'm just mentioning it over here that if the rope is 10 meters, so this would be the maximum area. Let us suppose if the rope is 10 meters, so this would be the maximum area that could be grazed by the rope. So what we just have to find out? We just have to find out the increase. How much increase is there? We just have to find out this particular increase in the second section. In the second section, when the rope is nothing but 10 meters, so we just have to find out the increase, means this particular section we just have to find out. So it means that we have to take up the difference of the two sections. So this is nothing but the 78.5 meters square minus the area for the second one, which is nothing but 19.625 meters square. So we have the area, or we will get the increase in the grazing area when we will take the subtraction of both of these areas. we will definitely get the answer for this particular area, means how much there is how much increase is there. So hence when you will subtract both of these values, you will get the answer as 58.875 meters square. When you will subtract these two values, you will get the answer as nothing but 58.875 meters square, which is nothing but the increase in the grazing area when the rope is actually 10 meters instead of the 5 meters. So the answer for the second part is nothing but 58.875 meters square, and hence this is all about the question number 3.